Hey YouTube, it's me, it's the man who likes to RANT, dropping a fresh VID for you today. And now that we finally know where all the superstars are going to be for the foreseeable future as far as shows, I thought I'd indulge in a little bit of fantasy booking with one star and by extension group of stars in particular. That's right. Today I'm going to talk about how I think WWE should book Finn Balor once he comes back from his concussion. Thanks Jinder Mahal for setting that career back even farther. But for the sake of this fantasy booking, I should tell you it's not going to happen this way because I doubt WWE is going to jeopardize its merchandise making machine. But in the words of Broken Matt Hardy, I think it would give us some possibly wonderful programming options if they were to do it this way, if WWE were more bold in their storylines. So, how do I begin? Because first we need a feud that can build him up to get him back into the title hunt for the Universal title in the near future. And in order to do that, one of the first things we need to do is turn Finn Balor heel, or bad guy as it were. Now, why do you do that? It's because it works better for the overall group in the long run, as opposed to trying to turn the other members I'm going to talk about babyface. But it starts with a feud between himself and his newfound buddy Seth Rollins. And you can do it where Finn could be a sympathetic heel, where they tag together for a while and then Seth gets that little cocky nature about how much better he is than Balor, and that doesn't sit right with the Demon King. So one night, in a build-up to a pay-per-view match, the lights go out when Balor is in the ring, and suddenly they come up and he's in full Demon King gear, and he leans down and he says to Finn Balor, "You took," I don't know how many months it was, I want to say like 8 months of my career when you injured my shoulder at SummerSlam, and until I get my Universal title back, I will be the demon that haunts you. I will be everywhere you look, everywhere you breathe, everywhere you eat. You won't be able to do a thing without my knowing of it. Welcome to your new nightmare, Seth Rollins." And then, as a little gimmick, by the way, I would also begin to bring in Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. And I do this for two reasons. Number one, they've done good work, but I don't think they've gotten over as well as they could if the club was actually a unit. Plus, if you're going to make merchandise for Finn Balor that says Balor Club, I know WWE's probably thinking, well, Balor could call his fans Balor Club, but let's face it, a one-man club isn't all that effective. And, by the way, you can't tell me that when you brought Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, Anderson, Gallows, and Balor over that WWE wasn't dreaming of capitalizing on the hottest gimmick going in professional wrestling, and that was the Bullet Club. And since WWE couldn't get the rights to actually call them the Bullet Club, Balor Club was the next best thing. And I think it's time you brought them together. Why? It adds credence that Finn is now a bad guy, and with Anderson and Gallows on his side, it at least gives him a way that with the three of them, they could stand on par with Brock Lesnar. Now, don't get me wrong, they'd have to jump Lesnar from behind, otherwise Lesnar would just freaking destroy them because he's a freak of an athlete with superhuman strength and this, that, and the other. So they would have to catch him off guard. So you could alternate. One week the club could jump Lesnar and beat him down and really establish their supremacy, and then Lesnar comes back the next week and just proceeds to lay a whooping on them. trading back and forth. Also, you know, eventually when Finn Balor does capture the Universal title again, because you can't tell me he won't, since he was the original superstar to hold the title. It may take a while because the WWE's dead set on redoing Lesnar Goldberg, which if you haven't seen my video on that build up initially, go check that out. It's in my playlist. So they want to get that done, but eventually Lesnar's going to need another opponent, and I think Balor's the next choice because he needs to be able to regain the title he never actually lost. So, and he's going to need some cronies because as good as Finn Balor is, I'm sorry, with Lesnar's attributes and him being booked as the monster that he is, as good as Balor is, and you can tell a story in a match in a way that could make it work, but it seems a lot more complicated and convoluted to have Balor take Lesnar on one-on-one as opposed to just getting some hired muscle from guys that are also his friends, even though they didn't have him show it at SummerSlam when they were all together on the same show. But really, I mean, if you brought members of the Bullet Club to WWE, you need a time and a way to establish them as your new dominant faction, and I think this could be the way to do it. Plus, you're going to need Finn Balor to help Anderson and Gallows overcome the Hardy Boys now that they're back. And I'm very glad the Hardy Boys are back. On a side note, by the way, I'm just still waiting to see if they're able to bring the broken Hardys gimmick over from TNA, which I believe is still in litigation at this time. Frankly, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to bring their gimmick over, because yes, it happened in Impact Wrestling, but it was Matt's idea, and you can't take a person's idea away from them that they created, even if it was under the auspices of a different company. But I digress. Again, this will also let us see a new side of Finn Balor if we turn him heel, and if we do the sympathetic build-up, you can still have him be a good guy in the fans' eyes and say there's nothing wrong with getting revenge on the person who took you out for 8 months. If I'm wrong on that time frame, by the way, please feel free to correct me down in the comments below. So to me, that makes sense, and it could finally get Anderson and Gallows to the level of stardom that they have been longing to achieve in WWE. They certainly achieved it over in Japan, but as Jerry Lawler is quick to point out, if it didn't happen in a WWE ring in America, unless you're a learned wrestling fan, it doesn't matter, and people just don't care. But I've seen Finn Balor work babyface his entire WWE career. And while I'll never actually get tired of it because he is genuinely a good guy, it's time to present him in a different way. And you could even say that, you could even have him say in a promo that in the time that he was gone, the landscape of WWE has changed. It has gotten more vicious, more cutthroat. So I'm doing this because I have to. You have brought out a vicious, aggressive demon, WWE, and now I hope you're prepared to deal with it. But that's my booking strategy for Finn Balor. And it's a way, as I've said, it's a way to finally put the Balor Club concept that they've been marketing since they signed everybody over in Japan, finally put it to use, because a one-man club just ain't going to get it done. What are your thoughts on how you would book Finn Balor? Do you have any differences in a scenario that you think would be more effective than what I presented to today. Post down in the comments below. If you like this video, click that thumbs up. It really helps a lot. If you don't want to miss a video by the Wrestling Ranter, click that subscribe button, and every time I make a new video and it goes live, you'll be notified as long as you click that little bell icon and select how you wish to be notified, be it through email or your device. Thank you guys for watching. Ranter's going to get off the soapbox. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.